before he became a Muslim. May I ask you before that, inshallah ta'ala, try to digest what the brothers are saying rather than laughing or making noises. Please try to even take notes about what's wrong with other religions that you may use for da'wah purposes. Brother Abdul
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen, wa salatu wassalam ala rasulullah, wa ba'd. Inshallah, as the brother said, I'm from the Jewish faith. I wasn't prepared to give this talk, so you have to bear with me, and it's, inshallah, it'll probably be extremely short. But I was brought up in a Jewish household. My mother is Jewish, and all my family from my mother's side are Jewish. From my father's side, they are Christian, although non-practicing. Although I did not practice the Jewish religion strongly, I thought, yes, I'm a Jew. You know, I'm told I'm going to go to paradise. This is what the Jews believe. We are the chosen people of God.
Can you make it a bit louder?
As Jews, we believe we are the chosen people of God. No other people are entitled to this. We believe all the messengers have been sent to the Jews. I used to laugh at my friends who were Christians. I thought, yes, we killed your God. I used to laugh at these people. Although I said I wasn't practicing, it was his pride that I used to have. From the age of about 14 or 15, I started to look into other things. I started to study a book called the Kabbalah. It's on Jewish mysticism. And from this, I started to read about paganism. A lot of the things in paganism are from the Kabbalah, in the book of the Jews. I used to look at the politics. I used to think, the Jews have been persecuted. We know the other countries, non-Jews, they owe the Jews. They are in debt to us. For example, what happened in Germany in the World War II, what happened in York about 300 years ago. People who were non-Jews, they were in debt to us. And again, the politics. My grandmother is a very hardcore Jew. Suppose you could call her a Zionist. So my morals were preached to me by my grandmother. So I was brought up to hate the Muslims. Again, like Abu Umar. But I didn't understand why. I was just told it, and I said yes, okay. But when I left school, finished my A-levels, I started reading. I was into a kind of music called Gothic music, where the strange people where they all wear black, long hair, and this type of thing. And this got me into reading horror and science fiction. And there's one of the books I used to read. There are many quotes from the Quran. I didn't know what the Quran was. I thought, what we got taught in religious education. All Muslims are Pakistanis. They all know the Quran off by heart. And they all eat chapatis. This is what we were told in religious education. So this is honestly what I thought. I had Muslim friends. They didn't preach to me. I didn't think the difference. They used to come to drinking, etc. They used to listen to music, have girlfriend, etc. So I saw no difference in this. But I said once I went out to buy some records from a shop, and I saw this English translation of the Quran. And alhamdulillah, Allah guided me to buy this Quran with no instructions from my Muslim friends. I just bought it. I read this Quran in about 2 days, and alhamdulillah, this affected me. And from that I started reading more about Islam. I learned how to pray, I learned the basics about Tawheed. And I used to, I compared the religions, Judaism, Christianity and Islam. And eventually, alhamdulillah, I took the Shahada, a very short time after reading the Quran. Very impulsive. So after taking the Shahada, I was living close to my mother at the time, but in a different house. My mother she cut off the relations with me. Although she isn't practicing, and she even eats pork, so that's how unpracticing she is, he disowned me. One of my brothers, I have two brothers older than me. One of them has declared himself as an atheist. The other one calls himself a pagan. She accepts them. So I think, because it is Islam, this installs, the hatred comes out. And ever since taking my Shahada, my grandmother, she started practicing her religion a lot more strongly. and saying extremely bad things about Islam. So this is the attitude, and alhamdulillah, Allah guided me away from this. The things in the Quran that affected me, there's a number of things. For example, what Allah tells us about the Anbiya, the prophets, alayhi salam. When you compare the stories, for example, in the Torah, we believe that God rested. A'udhu billah. We also believe that God apologized to the people for doing things for punishing the people. We believe that God wrestled with the prophets and lost. Let's say, but when I took Shahada, my mother, she disowned me. My stepfather, he said, I can't be Muslim. I asked him why. He said, because you're not Pakistani. This is what my family believe. So, alhamdulillah, Allah guided me to the truth. When I first became Muslim, I have been Muslim for just over 2 years. I was extremely complacent on the deen. So yeah, I'm Muslim. Alhamdulillah, I prayed 5 times a day. But that was about it. I carried on listening to music, and I was working in an establishment serving alcohol. I just carried on like this. Alhamdulillah. Some brothers approached me, gave me some literature. For example, the main one was Fundamental of Tawheed by Abu Amin Bilal Phillips. Alhamdulillah, I read this, and it made me think, if I am Muslim, then I should live up to this. Just because one is called Abdullah or Muhammad or Fatima, etc., this does not mean you're going to go to paradise. This is the mistake that the Jews make and the Christians. We have to earn paradise, through our aqidah, through our belief, and through our actions from the Sunnah. And inshallah, it's a very short talk, but basically that's it. Jazakumullah khair.
And inshallah we'll ask Brother Abdul Rahim to give us his version, inshallah, and we'll ask him to speak a bit loudly.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.